Welcome to the KeeKee's Big Adventures Family Travel Podcast, here to help inspire and plan your family's next big adventure. KeeKee's Big Adventures all started with the award-winning picture book series starring KeeKee, the globe-trotting cat, exploring the world's diverse places, people, and cultures. I'm Shannon, the author and creator of KeeKee's Big Adventures. Moms and families love the books and asked for help planning their own adventures, so the podcast was created to help. Adventure awaits! I am so thrilled and excited about today's episode. We are going to South Africa. Oh my goodness, place I've never been, huge bucket list. I am excited to welcome Christy Angelati. She is with the South Africa Tourism Board. Welcome to the podcast, Christy.
Thank you. We're so happy to be here today and talk all about South Africa and how wonderful of a destination it is for families and why now is such a great time to start planning your trip.
It has to be a bucket list for so many people. You can safari, you can city, there's just so many things to do. So tell us a little bit about the destination.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you hit the nail on the head right there when you said South Africa offers incredible variety of experiences. And that is one of the major reasons why South Africa is generally the first place people start traveling on the African continent. When they think of safari, wildlife viewing, we kind of like to classify it as Africa 101 because it's a great starting point. It's very easy to get to. You don't need any immunizations to travel to South Africa. If you're holding a US or Canadian passport, you don't need a visa for travel up to 90 days. So it's just as easy as going to the Caribbean or Europe, just a little bit farther. And it offers this incredible variety of experiences that you really can't find anywhere else on the planet. So everybody knows that we have incredible game viewing, wildlife experiences, safaris, but we also have cities, coastline, adventure travel, and just a huge variety of so much more. And we kind of like to call it Safari Plus. So safari and depending on what you're interested in, South Africa's just got so much to offer. If you want to spend a few days sitting on the beach, maybe go hiking, travel along coastal routes. We have 2 oceans, nearly 2,000 miles of coastline. I mean, there's just an incredible amount of things to do. So we can kind of dive into some of those details.
And it sounds like it's easier than ever to get there from North America.
It's literally never been easier. So we've got multiple new flight routes direct to South Africa from the East Coast. So United is now offering direct service from Newark and Washington, D.C. to both Cape Town and Johannesburg. And we've never had direct routes to Cape Town before. So those are all new. We couldn't be more excited. And Delta is now offering direct service as well from Atlanta to both Cape Town and Johannesburg. So easy peasy, direct routes. Now, if you don't live in any of those cities, no worries. You can obviously connect to those cities or get creative with it. Fly through Europe, fly through the Middle East, take a couple of days in between on a layover. It's pretty much the world is your oyster in terms of getting to South Africa. I live in Los Angeles, so occasionally I'll route myself home through Europe or even Istanbul, spend a few days there and just kind of get creative with it because it just pairs so well with so many destinations. So yes, long-winded way of saying it's never been easier to get there. We couldn't be happier about that.
Great. If I'm going from New York direct to one of the cities, how long of a flight?
It's about 15 hours. So
not bad at all.
No, long nap and watch a couple of movies, read a book, read all about safari on the way there. So you know exactly what you're seeing when you see those animals.
And you're there. That's fantastic. Okay, so a family wants to go. What would you suggest? And I know it depends on what the family wants to do, but how long? Take us through some itineraries or things to do and see.
So people going to South Africa should allocate at least 2 weeks because, it's going to take a couple of days to get there, at least 10 nights on the ground since you are traveling that far. And again, South Africa is a big country. It's about twice the size of Texas. There's a lot to see. So a very common first-timer route would include Johannesburg, Cape Town, and a safari experience. And that's a standard, you can easily do that with flights in 2 weeks. And that's your starting point. One of the best itineraries for families is what we call the garden route. So this is an epic road trip along the southern coast of the African continent. You would start in Cape Town and then travel east along the coast. And this can be done in about 10 nights, 2 weeks. And there's a huge amount of adventure experiences along that route. And then it ends with Big Five safari parks as well. So that's a really, really incredible family itinerary. And we can explore that itinerary. I can tell you more about what that involves.
Let's talk about what we would see on that route. That sounds amazing.
So let's just say we're going to start in Cape Town, take one of those new direct flights to Cape Town. Cape Town is a stunning city. It's right on the Atlantic Ocean. It's a coastal city. Visually, it kind of reminds you of San Francisco. It's got a Mediterranean climate. There's a waterfront area. So if you've been to San Francisco, you kind of envision like Fisherman's Wharf area. So we have our own waterfront there called the V&A waterfront. Cape Town has a beach called Boulders Beach where penguins live on the beach. A hugely popular experience for families.
Penguins on the beach?
Penguins. Yes, African land penguins. So you go stop at Boulders Beach, you watch the penguins waddle around, swim, jump into the ocean, and they are the cutest thing ever. So that is an absolute must see for families. Also, Table Mountain. If you're familiar with Table Mountain, this is the iconic mountain that is the backdrop to the city of Cape Town. It's one of 7 new wonders of nature. So you can take the cable car up to the top of Table Mountain and get these stunning panoramic views of the whole Atlantic coast and the city of Cape Town. That's a really fun experience. I like to parallel a lot, as if you're going to notice, to San Francisco, but we also have an island prison similar to Alcatraz. Now, this is called Robben Island, and this is where Nelson Mandela spent 18 of his 27 years in prison on Robben Island. So tours of this island prison are actually led by former political prisoners that spent time on the island during the apartheid era. So there's lots of history to learn in South Africa, and that's another easy half-day trip. A lot of the travelers will spend their time in the waterfront area because that's a really fun, easy area to kind of walk around, dine, hang out, shop. And then people will also go take a drive down the Cape Point Peninsula to the Cape of Good Hope. This is what a lot of people think is the southernmost tip of the African continent, although it's actually not. It's close, though. You go down what we call False Bay, you take the Cape of Good Hope, and you take this beautiful scenic drive. There are generally mountain zebras there. Sometimes you'll see an ostrich. And then once you get to the Cape of Good Hope, there are baboons running around everywhere. So families, kids absolutely love watching the baboons. Cannot get enough of watching them. They are a little bit naughty, though, so don't be carrying around snacks. Beware, they're fun to watch from a safe distance. It's hikeable, and it's just a really fun day trip. So you can easily spend 3-4 nights seeing all the sights in Cape Town. And then you're going to continue on east. So let's say next stop will be the town of Hermanus. This is a seaside town on the Atlantic, and this is the whale watching capital of the world.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a stunning coastal town, Atlantic Ocean cliffs, and you can do whale watching there by land even. You don't even have to get into the boat. There's a whale migration taking place there of the southern right whales. We also have humpbacks, but this is a unique whale that migrates along that coast. And the best time for that is about between June and October. And then if the families are adventurous, maybe they've got some teens, this is also the region where you do shark cage diving if they want to meet the great whites or the copper sharks in a cage.
Holy moly.
Yes.
Shark diving. Woo!
It is an epic adventure. I've done it. Actually done it quite a few times. Now, if traveling with a family, not everybody has to go in the cage. You can sit in the top deck of the boat and just watch all the action from above. So not everyone has to go in the cage. You can still see everything. And generally, when you're on the shark boat, you can still see whales as well. So it kind of doubles as this marine safari experience.
Do I have to be scuba certified or anything to do that?
Absolutely not. No scuba, no equipment required. So you kind of just go in the cage and you go underwater when the sharks pass by, you hold your breath and you see them from underwater and then you pop back up.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But at least you're in a cage.
Exactly. This area has got the marine big five as well. So there you're going to see penguins, dolphins, whales, sharks, seals. And another cool activity to go and see the marine big five is by helicopter. So you can see them overhead or you can see them from a boat. So families can really kind of just settle into this beautiful coastal area and then spend a couple of nights there. Then they're going to head a little bit further north where we get into an area where you have lots of national parks, hikes, caves, desert areas, ostrich farms. We've got the ostrich capital of the world up there in Oudtshoorn, and just lots of quirky, fun towns to kind of hang out, explore, get out on land, and beautiful scenery and soft adventure activities. We have the world's highest bungee jump from a bridge on that route. Also, lots of interesting activities to dive into, as well as cultural experiences. People that are traveling can go into a cultural village and learn about the Xhosas. Nelson Mandela is from the Xhosa community. So there's lots of interesting things to do, see, learn along that route. And then, if that isn't enough variety, we have Big Five safaris near the end of this road trip in malaria-free regions, which are incredibly popular with families. The Eastern Cape is the region where we have a huge variety of stunning safari lodges with the Big Five, so they can still see the Big Five, have their twice daily game drives, relax at the lodges, swim in the pools in the afternoon, and there are no worries about having to take malaria pills or any worries traveling with children. So this itinerary is just incredibly popular with families since it has so much to do. It's an easy road trip, and you also get the wildlife experience.
Yeah. And so Big Five, remind me what they are.
Yes, lion, elephant, leopard, rhinoceros, and Cape buffalo.
Ooh, so you can see
Yes.
all of that in South Africa in these parks.
Way more than that, too. I mean, we still have our antelopes, we have zebras, we have wild dog, we have incredible variety in birds, and there are meerkats in South Africa. There's a huge variety of biodiversity in general. And if you're interested in sustainability and conservation, just the act of going on safari helps to conserve this land, helps to preserve these natural spaces so the animals can be protected and live out their natural lives there. So it's a nice, sustainable travel choice just by making the decision to go there. And of course, seeing these animals living their lives in the wild is definitely a life-changing experience for so many people, especially kids, which can't even imagine. Maybe they've seen a couple of animals in the zoo, but actually watching elephants walk around in groups together in herds in Africa can even sometimes inspire future life paths for children after having that experience. So really mind-blowing travel experiences for families.
100%, a million percent. It sounds just so incredible. So is that kind of the end of that itinerary?
Yeah, so I like to start that itinerary in Cape Town, and then you travel east to the city of Port Elizabeth, now called Kibera. The name changed. And then there's an airport there, and then you can fly back over to Cape Town or up to Johannesburg and out. Now, if they want to spend a couple of nights in Johannesburg, which I highly recommend, there are some really, really interesting museums there. There is the Apartheid Museum. It's a really interesting place to learn about the history of South Africa, the culture, and how South Africa has grown to this democracy that it is today. A lot of people find parallels with the civil rights movement across the US. South Africa's been a democracy, representative democracy since 1994. And there's a fascinating story there. And a lot of people, especially from the US, are very moved by what they see and learn there. Families should definitely go to the Apartheid Museum and also the township of Soweto. So this is a township. It's like a giant neighborhood where Nelson Mandela used to live down the street from Desmond Tutu. So only street in the world where two Nobel Peace Prize winners lived like right across the street from each other. This is called Vilakazi Street. You go to Vilakazi Street, see the Mandela House, see a couple of museums there, have a great restaurant. There are boutique art galleries, and you can actually take a cycling tour of Soweto and see the whole town. It's a giant township with a few million people living in it. And the tours are led by local residents. So you'll learn about the music that came from Soweto, the people that lived there, and the history of it. It's one of my absolute favorite things to do in the country. It's a really, really fun way to meet people, to engage. There's generally a lot of kids around too, so kids can meet other kids.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, really fun. And then another incredible experience in Johannesburg is visiting the Cradle of Humankind. So this is about 30 miles outside of Johannesburg. And this is where they've excavated the most skeletal remains of early human fossils of like hominids from 2 million years ago. It's incredible. There's a museum out there. It's called Maropeng. So you go to Maropeng and you trace the evolution of human history over millions of years. You see some of the fossils, you learn about Earth's ice ages, and then you can actually go and do a cave tour in the caves where they found a lot of these skeletal remains. So that's a really cool day trip from Johannesburg as well. So you can easily spend 48 hours really diving deep into some fascinating culture.
That's amazing. I can't wrap my head around all of the stuff you could do in 2 weeks and just the incredible history and, go from like this incredible history to seeing animals in the wild.
That's why we say it's such a great place to start as you're traveling on the African continent in sub-Saharan Africa, because you get a little bit of everything. There's definitely no other destination on the continent where you can have all of this variety. And the parents, while they're traveling, they can enjoy all of our incredible wines as well. So South Africa's been farming wine for about 370 years, like way, way longer than the Napa Valley. Traveling with kids, you don't have to spend the time in the winelands doing the wine tasting. You'll have the winelands wherever you go, because the South African wines are in all the hotels, all the safari lodges, paired with all the meals. And the value for money is just incredible. The rand is the currency. And it's average about like 15 to 18 to 1 against the dollar. And the dollar stretches so far. It's going to blow your mind. So you're talking like, let's say a family of 4 would like to eat at a gourmet restaurant, courses, the parents are going to have a nice bottle of wine. You're probably looking at like $30. These are meals that would cost like $250 where I live. People are pretty blown away with how far their dollar stretches. So like a lot of the costs for the trip are really upfront when you secure the itinerary and book the safari lodges in advance. And then once you're actually there, it's very inexpensive. So when people are pricing out the trip and comparing it to, let's say, like a family trip to Europe, let's say half of the cost of your Europe trip are going to be up front, and then another half are going to be while you're there as you pay for everything as you go. South Africa is totally different.
That's really good to know, because I think, 2 things you think about is distance, like how long it's going to take me to get there, especially with kids, and then costs. I think the perception is that it's a trip that is very expensive, but I'm hearing from you that you can do it in a way that isn't very expensive.
Yes, exactly. And that's why we like the garden route too, because they can really kind of road trip throughout and then they don't have to do as many flights. If they do want to add the Johannesburg add-on, which I highly recommend, there are a couple safari regions that are a few hours driving distance from Johannesburg as well, and they're also malaria-free. So those are also super popular with families. There's one in particular that's incredible. It's called Madikwe, Madikwe. It's just below the Botswana border. It's a very large game reserve with stunning properties, pools, terrain, big 5, wild dogs, incredible game viewing, and that can be easily paired with a few nights in Johannesburg, maybe a Cape Town extension, and that can also be your itinerary. Of course, the Kruger National Park is our most famous region for safaris. The Kruger's a low-risk malaria area, so people going in there, we get lots of families in there. And Kruger National Park is about a 40-minute flight from Johannesburg, or about a 2.5-hour flight from Cape Town. Now, I did want to mention that our summer months here in North America, June, July, August, are the South African winter. It's a really great time for game viewing because there are fewer water sources. But the lodges, especially in the Kruger National Park, that offer great family programs, they generally sell out during these months. So people that want to go on that family safari, go to Kruger, go to the family-friendly lodges, should definitely be looking into planning their trip soon. These family suites and these family-friendly properties are highly in demand right now. Another really interesting time to go is during the Christmas season, during the holiday season. That's summertime in South Africa. So longer days, more festivals, more events, stunning weather. And that's a really busy time to go as well. So if anybody wants to do that family experience for this holiday season, start talking to your travel advisor, your tour operator, but definitely start looking into that as soon as possible.
Well, Christy, this is just fantastic. You've outlined a perfect itinerary for people. We will put all of this in the show notes. If a family is interested in getting started and planning this incredible, incredible experience, where do you suggest they go online? What should they do? How do they get started?
That's a really good question. So, most people that are coming to South Africa from the US or from Canada are booking with a travel advisor or a tour operator. Make it easy on yourself. Don't spend all the time researching everything and trying to figure it all out. There are so many experts that are there. They can help and they'll do all the heavy lifting and they will customize the itinerary for you. So, you send them a checklist, say, we want to see penguins, we want to see museums, we want to see culture, we want safari, and they will customize it top to bottom. There's so many amazing tour operators out there. If you don't have a relationship with a travel advisor, you can always look into AAA. There's a lot of fantastic travel advisors there. There's the Signature Travel Network. There's the Virtuoso Travel Network. Lots of people to choose from who know Africa and South Africa very well, and they can help you. If you want to go online and do some research onto pricing, there's a platform called Tour Radar, and you can go to Tour Radar and just look through the different packages for South Africa and just kind of see what's available as a starting point and see who's offering them. Now, our website, southafrica.net, has got a lot of great travel info there as well. And Shannon, I'm going to send you a family travel guide that we put together that's printable, that has a coloring book as well. So if any families want to download that, print it out, and kids can color the big five in as they get ready for their trip, or maybe even bring it on the long flight. I will send those to you. And if you want to put those on your website, anybody can go in there and download and follow any of the links to help them start with their planning.
I love that. That is such a great idea. Yay, we will definitely have that for folks to download. The one thing I wanted to ask you too about the itinerary, driving. Is that easy if mom or dad want to do the drive?
Yeah, some people do choose to do the self-drive on the garden route. That's really the only route that I would recommend doing self-driving. However, they have to be comfortable driving on the opposite side of the road. If they are comfortable doing that, yes, that is drivable. For me, when I travel, I don't want all that responsibility. I don't want to deal with it. I want somebody else to take care of it, and I want to relax and, look for whales along the coast. So I would probably opt for hiring a guide and driver that's going to fill you with all the information and take care of all the details, figure out where to park the car, and you can just sit back and enjoy all the beauty of South Africa.
Sounds amazing. Christy, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for painting just a beautiful picture of this amazing adventure and making it feel accessible. It sounds like something that's absolutely doable for a family for a couple-week holiday in summer or even the December holiday timeframe.
We hope that you guys get there soon and everybody comes out and sees us in South Africa. And then you can start planning out all your future African trips. After you see it once, I guarantee you'll want to come back. So thank you so much for having us on today. I loved chatting with you and everybody that's listening. We hope to see you there, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the KeeKee's Big Adventures Family Travel Podcast. Visit the episode webpage for all the details from today and lots more travel planning resources. We look forward to traveling with you on the next episode. Adventure awaits!
Adventure awaits!